Imagine a world without modern cities, smartphones, electricity, or the internet. Thousands of years ago, humans were already building enormous cities, developing writing systems, creating complex governments, studying the stars, and constructing monuments that still stand today. But which ancient civilizations had the greatest impact on human history? From the mysterious cities of the Indus Valley to the mighty Roman Empire, today we're counting down 10 of the most influential ancient civilizations that changed the world. Let's begin. Number 10, Norte Chico, Peru. Our journey begins in the deserts of modern-day Peru with the Norte Chico civilization, also known as the Caral-Supe civilization. Developing more than 5,000 years ago, it is one of the oldest known civilizations in the Americas. Its people built large monumental structures, organized settlements, and complex societies despite living in an extremely dry environment. One of its most famous sites is Caral, a massive ancient settlement featuring pyramidal structures and large plazas. What makes Norte Chico remarkable is its age. While monumental societies were emerging in other parts of the ancient world, communities in this region were already building impressive centers of civilization. Number 9, the Phoenicians. Next are the Phoenicians, a seafaring civilization that developed along the eastern Mediterranean coast. Rather than forming one enormous empire, Phoenician cities such as Tyre, Sidon, and Byblos became powerful centers of trade. Their ships traveled across the Mediterranean carrying goods, ideas, and culture. But their greatest legacy may have been their writing system. The Phoenician alphabet influenced later writing systems, including the Greek alphabet, which ultimately contributed to the development of the Latin alphabet used by many languages today. Their influence traveled far beyond their homeland. Number 8, the Persian Empire. At number 8 is the Achaemenid Persian Empire. Founded by Cyrus the Great in the 6th century BC, it became one of the largest empires the ancient world had ever seen. At its height, it stretched across enormous parts of Asia, the Middle East, and Egypt. The Persians developed sophisticated systems of administration, roads, taxation, and communication to govern their vast territory. One of their most spectacular centers was Persepolis, where enormous stone stairways and monumental buildings demonstrated the wealth and power of the empire. The Persian Empire showed that a huge and diverse territory could be governed through organized administration rather than simply military force. Number 7, Ancient Greece. At number 7 is Ancient Greece. Rather than being one unified country, ancient Greece consisted of numerous city-states, including Athens and Sparta. The Greeks made enormous contributions to philosophy, mathematics, science, politics, literature, and art. Thinkers such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle influenced generations of philosophers. Athens also developed an early form of democracy in which eligible citizens participated directly in political decisions. Greek architecture and mythology continue to influence modern culture more than 2,000 years later. But the story doesn't end here. The civilization that came next would spread Greek ideas across an enormous part of the ancient world. Number 6, Ancient Rome. At number 6 stands one of history's most famous civilizations, Ancient Rome. Beginning as a small settlement in Italy, Rome eventually grew into a vast empire surrounding much of the Mediterranean. The Romans became famous for their engineering. They constructed roads, bridges, aqueducts, amphitheaters, and enormous public buildings. Roman law and government influenced many later societies, while Latin became the foundation of several modern languages. The Roman Empire eventually declined in the West, but its cultural and political influence continued for centuries. Even today, you can still see Rome's legacy in architecture, law, language, and government. Number 5, Ancient China. At number 5 is Ancient China, one of the world's longest-lasting centers of civilization. Early Chinese dynasties developed sophisticated systems of government, agriculture, writing, metallurgy, and philosophy. During different periods, Chinese thinkers made important contributions to mathematics, astronomy, engineering, and medicine. The development of technologies such as papermaking and later innovations including printing and gunpowder would have enormous consequences for world history. China's ancient civilizations also produced monumental projects, including sections of the Great Wall. Its influence wasn't limited to one era. It continued developing across thousands of years. Number 4, the Maya civilization. At number 4 is the Maya civilization of Mesoamerica. The Maya developed across parts of modern-day Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. They built magnificent cities containing temples, pyramids, palaces, and plazas. But their achievements went far beyond architecture. Maya scholars developed sophisticated mathematical and astronomical knowledge and created complex calendars. They also developed one of the most advanced writing systems in the ancient Americas. And here's something important. The Maya civilization did not simply disappear. Although many ancient Maya cities were abandoned or declined, Maya peoples and communities continue to exist today. Number 3. Ancient Egypt. At number 3 is perhaps the most recognizable ancient civilization of all. Ancient Egypt. For thousands of years, Egyptian civilization flourished along the Nile River. The Egyptians developed a complex system of writing known as hieroglyphics, created monumental temples, and built enormous pyramids. The Great Pyramid of Giza was the tallest human-made structure in the world for thousands of years. Egyptian civilization also made important advances in mathematics, engineering, medicine, and astronomy. Their beliefs about death and the afterlife led to elaborate burial practices and some of the world's most famous archaeological discoveries. But Egypt was only one part of a much older story. Number 2, Mesopotamia. At number 2 is Mesopotamia, the ancient region between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Often described as one of the earliest places where cities and complex civilizations developed, Mesopotamia was home to civilizations including the Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. The Sumerians developed one of the world's earliest known writing systems, cuneiform. They also built some of the earliest known cities and developed sophisticated systems of administration and agriculture. Later Mesopotamian kingdoms produced famous rulers and monumental cities, including Babylon. Many foundations of urban civilization can be traced back to this region. And now, we reach number 1. Number 1, the Indus Valley Civilization. Taking the number 1 spot is the Indus Valley Civilization, also known as the Harappan Civilization. Developing across parts of modern-day Pakistan and northwestern India more than 4,000 years ago, it became one of the largest civilizations of the ancient world. Its cities were remarkably organized. At sites such as Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, archaeologists have discovered carefully planned streets, sophisticated drainage systems, wells, public structures, and standardized bricks. What's especially fascinating is that the civilization left behind a writing system that remains undeciphered. We know a great deal about their cities, but many questions about their society, language, and eventual decline remain unanswered. And that's what makes the Indus Valley Civilization so fascinating. It wasn't just technologically impressive. It was also one of the ancient world's greatest mysteries. From the deserts of Peru to the cities of the Indus Valley, these civilizations transformed the course of human history. They built cities, developed writing, created governments, studied the universe, and left behind ideas that still influence our world today. But which civilization do you think had the greatest impact? Tell us your choice in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey through ancient history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more fascinating top 10 documentaries from RankSphere Official. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.